Nico, studying studies in PE at Iron Marsh, and in my manifesto I brought around 3 points, all based upon participation for all those at the university and the SU, because you basically want, we want to create a positive experience for everybody at university, all different types of people. So sport-wise, I want to create inter-club competitions within the SU, so each team or club would host something that anybody can join, represent themselves or their team. I want to create events, affordable, accessible, all that basically to get everybody together, so we're not all in separate groups. So I want us to be one student union. And then finally, Freshers Week. I want to create the biggest and best Freshers Week there's ever been, to start all the new university students coming in. Yeah.
Thank you. Well done, Joe. It's not easy going first, so well done. Next up, can you wave? And when you're ready,
So I'm Keely Hodgson. I'm a third year law student at JMU, and for my manifesto I really wanted to improve the whole student experience. So I really wanted to make sure that all students are thoroughly told about what clubs and societies are available before they even get to university, to make sure that participation goes up and not down, and make sure that there's more societies available to those who want to create them. I also want to make Rag Week a bigger thing, so if you don't know about it, it's Raise and Give, and a lot of universities have it as an actual event each year, and I want all the clubs and societies to get involved with that. It looks really good on your CV to do it, and I also want to create better communication between the SU and other clubs and societies together.
thank you. Please remember to be noting down questions for both activities and community. Next up, James Stevenson.
Okay, so I'm James, and my personal experience at university, being part of the sports society, is vital in university life. From my experience with the football team, I wouldn't be where I am today without that. I've been able to develop a strong relationship with the student union. I've worked closely with the 3 vice president of activities in previous years, so I understand the roles and responsibilities and the impact that I can have on students. I've also, as part of my football team thing, I've turned the club around from £2,000 debt to almost breaking even now. It's that success that's made me want to do this, and I want to make a new challenge for myself to get to the next level. So what I want to do is introduce myself, and I want you guys to know who I am, and I want to know who you are. So what's your name? Dan, James. Okay. So I want to get to know everyone, and that's because at the end of the day, you guys are going to be voting for me, and you guys, I'm going to be working with you, and at the end of the day, it's you guys who I want to work for. So if you want someone who's passionate, confident, and ambitious, vote for me.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to the 60 seconds for the candidate for community engagement, and then we'll take questions at the end. So, Ashley Davis, everybody.
Hi everyone, so I've been here for 4 years now, 3 years as an undergraduate student and now as a postgraduate student, and it's 3 things that my time here has taught me. It's A, to look after yourself, both mentally and physically. B, be safe. We're a city-based campus, so being aware of your surroundings. And 3 is we have a really incredibly diverse international student population. Sometimes they get a little bit left out. So my mentor points, I work for the student union for the past 2 years now, and every day I'm out speaking to students. We're working on our campaigns, promoting what the SU does, and it's through this work that's actually helped me create my manifesto of actually what students want. But with international students particularly, during the start of the year, I was a welcome assistant, being able to greet new students as they moved into accommodation, make sure that they feel happy and content in their halls. And what I want to do is create a peer mentorship scheme. So for these people who come all the way from, all across the world, anything that we can do to help their experience here. And make sure that they settle into university life just like I have as well.
Okay, well, so first first of all, the first question I'm going to ask to each activities candidate is, how will you encourage people to join a club or society? You've each got 60 seconds to answer. James, do you want to go first?
Yeah, of course. So when students come to university, what I believe they need to do is get involved in sports and societies. So when they come to me, I will make them aware of all the sports and societies they've got available to them at the moment. If their sports society doesn't fit in this category and there's something they're really passionate about, I will give them the support and guidance and recognition that they deserve to be able to make this society, and then put them in touch with the right people who are also interested in the society. If there's the same two people interested in that, then I push that forward and get them involved in that. So that's how I would get people to involved in society.
Thank you. Do you want to go next? Do you want to repeat the question? Yeah. How will you encourage people to join a club or society?
So I know, as being part of a sports team over the past 3 years, that being part of it is one of the best experiences you can have at university. You meet so many new people and it's just like amazing. You get so many different opportunities. I really want to promote this before people get to university, so people are aware of what clubs and societies are available, and to be able to create clubs and societies if they aren't available, both academic and sporting, because obviously you meet like-minded people at these activities, and it'd really be good to just promote it overall in everything, in Freshers Week, like all around the halls, and just in general, like before people get to uni.
I think the emphasis will come on Freshers Fair, not just only for the freshers coming into, new students coming in, but also those in the second and third year who might not have been involved in clubs and societies for the time they've already been at university. So I think I'd embrace that fact of trying to push other current students to come to the Freshers Fairs, and also to read the emails, to get involved online and through social media, to promote the inclusion of sports and societies at university.
Thank you. Okay, next question for activities. How would you raise awareness of the societies in particular within the university? Should we go with you first? Is that okay? That's fine.
So obviously sports are publicised a lot more than societies in general, but there is a lot of societies, probably more than sports teams, that are available, all academic and just in general getting involved and doing things together. So I'd probably try and promote it more again during Freshers Week, before people get to university, and really try and encourage people to join them throughout the year, because with societies it's not so much as a cut-off point, you can join whenever. So to really promote it through lecture shout-outs and stuff like that, which would increase participation hopefully.
Thank you. Let him hobble through. James?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, it was, what will you do to, how would you raise awareness of the societies within the university?
Okay, so I believe social media is absolutely massive in this one. To raise awareness for everything, social media is a really good tool. So I'll be doing shout outs on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube and things like that. Get down to a different society every single week. As Kaylee mentioned there, there's not enough emphasis sometimes on the societies. The sports teams get a lot of recognition and the sports teams are always in the limelight and things like that. So I would focus my emphasis on societies and getting down to different ones each week, so that they felt that they wanted to be part of the student union as much as the sports teams. And then I would obviously use the social media tools I've discussed here to promote that.
Well, thank you.
Again, yeah, like James said, social media I think is the massive one for promotion. As most young people nowadays are on social media, if it's Twitter, if it's Facebook. But I think a good way of doing it maybe with the links that I'd have with not just the sports teams but society chairmen. If there's like a page on social media where they can all put their spread about their society, and really promoted on a one page where new students, even current students that might not know about a certain society, can go and see that in that area there are what there is to offer, as well as your freshers fair and on the website also.
Well, thank you very much. I'm just going to ask one more question to activities before we move on to community. And the question is, how will you implement competitions and friendly competitiveness between courses? And Joe, are you alright first?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Through courses, it is a big thing, and I think because through my experience, there hasn't been enough of it. But like one part of my manifesto is to create a new into student union competitions. I may even push that into courses. So not just sporting, it can be anything that even societies want to get involved, such as DJ Society. I'm not sure, but again, maybe a Facebook page, getting in touch with course leaders and course representatives, and starting that as a new thing.
Good, thank you. Keely, do you want me to repeat the question?
No, you're alright, thanks. I am actually planning on creating an activities forum to both get communication between the SU and other teams bigger and better, so that it's easier to communicate. So I'd probably use an activities forum like this to create intersocial events, get more teams doing joint socials and stuff like that. I know from experience that having a joint social with another team is a really good opportunity to meet new people, and it's just better to get involved, to meet more friends. It's a really good opportunity, and I just obviously use social media and stuff like that to promote.
Instead of doing a course thing every single week and doing an inter-course thing every week, I'd make it a whole huge event. I'd make it similar to what we do in varsity, and something near the end of term, maybe around Christmas time, do an inter-course championships. And this is a perfect way as well. We can implement fundraising into this, so we can have each player for any sports team pays £2 or £3 per player. And you enter your team in, you do fundraising and give it to charity, and then we're raising money as well as getting this inter-course championships that everybody wants to do. And obviously, like the guys have said, the use of social media and things like that can promote this.
First of all, how will you engage with those who are classed as home students, e.g. people living in Liverpool?
I think it's about finding out where they are, how much time they actually spend on campus, and how we can use what we already have on campus, so through the mini SU site, for social media, through maybe spot offers are going right on the site as well. Find out where they are, how they best want to be communicated at. We've actually conducted some research. The student team has conducted some research in the past about how many contact hours they spend on campus. I think a great way to speak to them would be through social media, and then find out what courses they do, whereabouts they are, and how we can actually interact with them that way.
Really? And next question, what can Liverpool Students' Union do to support students on Iron Marsh campus as we feel left out?
Well, as I mentioned before, we do the mini LiverpoolSU there as well. That's about making sure that it's fully staffed all the time, that we're constantly going out on campus speaking to these students, find out their issues, because it could be completely different to those based in the city campuses. Again, just maintaining that communication between them, whether that's focus groups or anything get a special officer to meet students, and again, it's just keeping that communication open, making sure we always have a presence on campus and our marsh, and that it doesn't get left out, especially since proper sale will be coming in about 2-3 years time, and making sure that we just keep communicating with them, keep making sure that we get their opinions across.
Thank you. That is all for your question time. Well done, and you may now take your seat. Then we're going to take questions from the audience. And yeah, is there anyone particularly from Vice-President Academic Quality that would want to go first? Go ahead, Colin. Take your stand. So you've got 60 seconds. Craig will wave at 10 seconds left, and then stop you abruptly at 0 seconds left. Okay.
My name's Callum. I'm a final year doing computer games development at the minute at Byron Street. So I'm running for VP Academic Quality. So basically, I started seeing the cracks in my course when I first started. Like all the final years used to complain about what was wrong with it, and I didn't see any of them myself. So I decided to be a course rep. So I was going to start finding these problems because people didn't really feel comfortable about talking about it in my course because we were all socially awkward. So, so then I started on the student voice team because they was like a step up from the course reps because they look after the whole school, which again because it was computer and maths, they were all socially awkward as well. So I felt like I could represent more people and find problems and deal with them. So my top priority, my first point on the manifesto is teachers teaching teachers, which means you good teachers teach the bad teachers, and then everyone gets better as a result. So that's the most important one. So don't worry about it.
Welcome, Jamie Bennett.
Hi everyone, my name's Jamie. I'm a third year doing sociology, and for the past 7 years I've been representing students all across the city, and I can honestly say that I've loved every single second of it. And whether that be as a course rep here for the past 3 years or as a student governor before I arrived at John Moores University. And the number one thing I can say that I've taken from this experience is that it's often the simplest solutions that can solve a lot of the problems that students face on a day-to-day basis and can fundamentally change the experience that students get from the university degree, which will basically have a positive effect on whether they have a good or bad recollection of their time at university. So yeah, thanks.
Relax.
Yeah, hi. I'm Michael, running for academic quality. As you can hear from my accent, I'm Italian, so I can represent well all the students. International, I can speak Spanish as well. So I can communicate. Yeah, I've started the gymnastics lab all by myself and get stuff done. And why would I not go for academic if I do love my sport? But because I think university, I came to university to do something else, to improve my life and get a job as a scientist. I do biomedical science, and I think university gives you all the tools. We just need to make sure the tools are in place for you. And when I first came, I didn't know there was course reps, and I discovered there's a course rep in my course just last year, so second year, and I want them to be more known to all students, so everyone can go to them and tell them any issues they got, and they can resolve them up to them. Thank you.
So I'm running to be your next president for LiverpoolSU. Some of you will have seen me last year, and I was absolutely petrified at doing this and talking in front of students. And I've changed so much throughout the year. I've been doing this regularly for the past few months, forcefully sometimes, but I feel more comfortable in front of you guys, and I'm able to actually represent you. It's really difficult to say what I will specifically focus on. You will have seen my manifesto points and the things I'm actually passionate about, but I'm just passionate about students getting their voices heard and making sure their vision is our focus. But thank you.
Academic quality, and then we'll move on to president after. So the first question for academic quality is, what does academic quality actually mean to you? Let's take it from one of our footballers. First of all, we're going to go to Mika. That's okay.
Okay. Well, academic quality. It's about giving students what they need to achieve their best. One thing that I put in my manifesto is student communication with the lecturers. Sometimes it's not easy to find a lecturer, and the free times are not clear, and only the timetables are sometimes only on their wall, on their office, and you have to go to their office to book. So on my manifesto I said I would put this timetable somewhere online where you can book time to see this lecturer and go and discuss any problems or any issues you got with the course or with the feedback or anything else.
Well, thank you, Mika. Jamie, do you want to answer that question? Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so what does academic quality actually mean to you?
Well, to mirror what my counterpart on Dynamics just said here. It's to basically make sure that you have nothing standing in your way that stops you from achieving whatever you want to achieve here at university. So if you want to leave here with a first, you leave here with a first, and it's about us as a student union promoting and doing everything we can to make sure that you can do that.
Chris?
Academic quality for me is mostly about, well, seeing as it's 9k fees now as well, it's mostly about getting your money's worth as well as consistency. So I find that when I talk to a lot of students, like they'll have these amazing teachers that are really, really good and they'll love to like praise them and everything, and then they've got really, really bad ones. Like you've all got one really crap teacher on your course. So the idea is like for the decent ones to actually, share the knowledge and get together, let's say monthly or something, with all the teachers meet together and say, right, you're underperforming because yes, you've been out to students, or you're underperforming. This guy's doing really well. Sit together and learn from each other.
Wonderful. So the next question for academic quality is, how will you help reduce assessment bunching around the end of each semester? So for those of you who don't know, assessment bunching, it's where there's loads of deadlines at the same time. Maybe I should go to you again. That's okay.
Okay. Well, it's really hard to do it because it's more about communication between between lecturers. Obviously, lecturers need to get together and talk about this. The work of the student and the course rep is massive, because course rep should tell the lecturers what everyone in the course is feeling. So if they feel there's two courses that are really close to each other, they should let the lecturers know. As I said, I didn't know my student rep, so I never actually managed to get all the ideas together with all the students and tell our course reps to tell the lecturer. So that was really hard. So that's why I want to focus on more course reps training and make sure they got all the ideas that the students have and get them to the lecturers.
Jamie, do you want to repeat the question?
No, it's alright. It was a good question, by the way.
Oh.
It's a really...
It wasn't me.
No, it's a really big issue. Assessment bunching, it's one that leaves students stretched thin. I mean, I know myself, especially in third year, we've got deadlines coming in thick and fast now, and it gets really kind of hairy. Once they're all coming in, you've got dissertation coming in and everything at the same time, so you still want to get the grade you want, but there are a variety of things that can be done about it. It's just about tailoring which one works best to each course. For example, you can do stuff like assessment timetables, which basically means you've got a timetable of your assessments, none of them are within the same week, or you can only have 2 within the same week. And also there's a percentage breakdown that can be done. So it can only be like a certain percentage of your module mark at the end can be done within 1 month or 1 week or stuff. So it's just about seeing which one fits to each course really, and yeah, that's all I do anyway.
Alan, do you want me to repeat the question? Are you alright?
So again, it is a really complex problem that mostly involves communication between module leaders and program leaders. But something that would help is to inform students of their power that they actually have to change any of the assessment deadlines. So it doesn't feel like the whole course and all of its staff are ganging up on you to make your life miserable. It'd be nice to tell students that they have the option to do this, and if they have any issues with anything clashing, then if enough people say no, we don't want this, then go through us and it gets better.
So I have one more question for academic quality because I'd just like to see you sweat. Okay, how will you ensure that all students' voices on each course are heard? We're going to go to Jamie first.
Brilliant. Well, as a course rep, I mean, I can say that that's absolutely vital in making sure that our students' voices are heard. And some of the training and stuff that the student union do regarding this is really effective. I felt like it's been effective for me anyway, and it's helped me grow as a person and as a course rep to make sure that I represent the students' voices the best towards the university. So I'd say just promote the student course rep role more, and make sure that basically all students' voices getting heard.
Callum?
So, like I said earlier, I come from the computer games technology course, which is full of people who will say nothing to everyone for 3 years of knowing them. So when I was a course rep in the first and second year, we really had to go digging to find these issues, and you'd have to almost like trick people into answering. So like I said, the course rep training has really improved it and made people better, the course reps, at actually finding these issues. But it just requires more creative ways of actually going out and finding these. Like, say if you say to someone, if your course was perfect, what would it be? As opposed to if you ask them, like, but what's wrong with your course? Like, nothing. So, well, things can always get better, so it's about asking the right questions and encouraging students to answer. Sorry, stepped on your applause. I'll do.
Great question. Yeah, well, it's about student reps, course reps. One way they can improve like student voices to be heard is make a 10-minute meeting after a lecture every month. Just a 10-minute meeting. That is not a massive amount of time. Just come in front of the lecture after the lecturer leaves and say, what would you want? What do you think about the course? What do you think needs to be changed? There will always be someone that wants something changed. There will always be the one that wants to make a change for everyone else. So he will actually talk, and then you can ask after you leave the lecture. Like everyone leaves, you can ask question to like just anyone really, like anyone that were more quiet and anyone that were more any voices.
Well done. That's all the questions for that.
Is really effective. I felt like it's been effective for me anyway, and it's helped me grow as a person and as a course rep to make sure that I represent the students' voices the best towards the university. So I'd say just promote the course rep role more, and make sure that basically all students' voices getting heard.
Callum?
So, like I said earlier, I come from the computer games technology course, which is full of people who will say nothing to everyone for 3 years of knowing them. So when I was a course rep in the first and second year, we really had to go digging to find these issues, and you'd have to almost like trick people into answering. So like I said, the course rep training has really improved it and made people better, the course reps, at actually finding these issues. But it just requires more creative ways of actually going out and finding these. Like, say if you say to someone, if your course was perfect, what would it be? As opposed to if you ask them, like, but what's wrong with your course? Like, nothing. So, well, things can always get better, so it's about asking the right questions and encouraging students to answer. Sorry, stepped on your applause. I'll do.
Great question. Yeah, well, it's about student reps, course reps. One way they can improve like student voices to be heard is make a 10-minute meeting after a lecture every month. Just a 10-minute meeting. That is not a massive amount of time. Just come in front of the lecture after the lecturer leaves and say, what would you want? What do you think about the course? What do you think needs to be changed? There will always be someone that wants something changed. There will always be the one that wants to make a change for everyone else. So he will actually talk, and then you can ask after you leave the lecture. Like everyone leaves, you can ask question to like just anyone really, like anyone that were more quiet and anyone that were more any voices.
Well done. That's all the questions for that.
But it just requires more creative ways of actually going out and finding these. Like, say if you say to someone, if your course was perfect, what would it be? As opposed to if you ask them, like, but what's wrong with your course? Like, nothing. Well, things can always get better, so it's about asking the right questions and encouraging students to answer. Sorry, stepped on your applause. I'll do.
Great question. Yeah, well, it's about student reps and course reps. One way they can improve like student voices to be heard is make a 10-minute meeting after a lecture every month, just a 10-minute meeting. It's not a massive amount of time. Just come in front of the lecturer after the lecturer leaves and say, what would you want? What do you think about the course? What do you think needs to be changed? There will always be someone that wants something changed. There will always be the one that wants to make a change for everyone else. So he will actually talk, and then you can ask after you leave the lecture. Like everyone leaves, you can ask question to like just anyone really, like the one that were more quiet and the one that were more any voices.
Improve the Students' Union's relationship with LJ.
Okay, so that's mainly to do with, I suppose, the meetings that we go to and making sure that we're actually representative. So that's something I found really difficult this year, is making sure that I've got time out on campus to talk to students. And the university really respects when we have a lot of student responses. So next year I want to make sure that all the sabbatical officers are out on campus at least weekly, and making sure we're getting those student responses and then going to the university, and that creates a better relationship between us and the university, and as well just being respectful within committee meetings as well.
Next question, how will you allow a variety of voices to be heard?
Well, again, it's just the same thing as making sure we're out on campus, but also, as many people have said before, social media, so making sure that we're accessing people that aren't actually here, so that could be distance learners or just people that don't like to spend a lot of time actually here, or within the libraries and things like that. But also trying to make sure that we go to induction talks within those courses that maybe don't engage with us as well. But yeah, that's how I think. To talk to students, and the university really respects when we have a lot of student responses. So next year I want to make sure that all the sabbatical officers are out on campus at least weekly, and making sure we're getting those student responses and then going to the university, and that creates a better relationship between us and the university, and as well just being respectful within committee meetings as well.
Next question, how will you allow a variety of voices to be heard?
Well, it's just the same thing as making sure we're out on campus, but also, as many people have said before, social media, so making sure that we're accessing people that aren't actually here, so that could be distance learners or just people that don't like to spend a lot of time actually here, or within the libraries and things like that. But also trying to make sure that we go to induction talks within those courses that maybe don't engage with us as well. But yeah, that's how I do it.
Our last question is probably one of my favourites of the evening. Is there anything that you or Sam has done this year that you would improve or like to carry on next year?
Okay. I don't really think I could speak on Sam's behalf. I would like to improve on, like I said before, making sure officers are out on campus. I know it's been, like I said, it's been really difficult for me to actually be out on campus and talking to students. So I want to make sure that actually happens. And also I want to improve on the equality and diversity stuff that I've been doing this year. I know that it's a massive job and it will carry on way after I'm here, but I want to improve on that and making sure that the LJMU is actually representative, as well as the union's representative as well.
Thank you all candidates. Can we just give everybody else and the other candidates a round of applause? I
think I could speak on Sam's behalf. I would like to improve on, like I said before, making sure officers are out on campus. I know it's been, like I said, it's been really difficult for me to actually be out on campus and talking to students, so I want to make sure that actually happens. And also I want to improve on the equality and diversity stuff that I've been doing this year. I know that it's a massive job and it will carry on way after I'm here, but I want to improve on that and making sure that the LJMU is actually representative, as well as the union's representative as well.